Charles Manson, a name synonymous with evil, was born into a life shrouded in darkness. He entered this world on November 12, 1934 in Cincinnati, Ohio. His mother, Kathleen Maddox, was only 16 and unmarried. Manson's early life was a chaotic mix of poverty, neglect, and crime. He never knew his father. His mother, often absent, drifted between various men and petty crimes. This unstable environment left an indelible mark on young Charles. By the age of 9, he was already stealing and getting into trouble. His first reformatory stint came at the tender age of 12. This marked the beginning of a long and troubled relationship with the law. Despite attempts at rehabilitation, Manson found himself drawn back into the criminal world. His crimes escalated, ranging from car theft to armed robbery. Prison became a revolving door, each stint hardening him further. Each stint further distanced him from any hope of a normal life. He spent more time behind bars than out. This troubled beginning foreshadowed the darkness that would come to define Charles Manson and his horrific legacy. It laid the groundwork for the monster he would become, a monster who would terrify the world with his gruesome crimes. By the mid-1960s, America was in a state of flux. The rise of counterculture, fueled by anti-establishment sentiments and psychedelic exploration, created a fertile ground for unconventional leaders. It was during this time that Charles Manson, fresh out of prison, reinvented himself. He transformed from a career criminal into a charismatic guru. Manson possessed a strange magnetism, particularly among disillusioned youth. He was a skilled manipulator, adept at identifying and exploiting vulnerabilities. He used a potent mix of pseudo-philosophy, borrowed spiritualism, and the allure of drugs to attract followers. He preached a message of love and peace, laced with a darker undercurrent of impending apocalyptic chaos. He established a commune at Spawn Ranch, a dilapidated former movie set in California. It became a haven for runaways and lost souls seeking meaning and belonging. His followers, mostly young women, were drawn to his charisma and the promise of an unconventional family. They were willing to do anything for their beloved Charlie. This group, known as the Family, became an extension of Manson's will. They were completely devoted to him, believing him to be a spiritual guide, a guide who held the keys to their salvation in a world on the brink of destruction. This unquestioning loyalty would have devastating consequences, leading them down a path of unimaginable violence. The Manson family was a collection of lost souls, each with their own story of vulnerability and manipulation. Some of the most prominent members included Susan Atkins, known as Sadie, was one of Manson's most ardent followers. She played a central role in the Tate LaBianca murders, later claiming she stabbed Sharon Tate and tasted her blood. Patricia Krenwinkel, or Katie, was another core member. She participated in the murders, later stating that she stabbed Abigail Folger to death. Leslie Van Houten, a former homecoming princess, became entangled in Manson's web. She was convicted for her role in the murders of Leno and Rosemary LaBianca. Charles Tex Watson, the Manson family's main enforcer, carried out Manson's orders with chilling efficiency. He was directly involved in both the Tate and LaBianca murders. These individuals, once ordinary young people, were transformed by Manson's influence. They became instruments of his twisted will, their own identities subsumed by the family. Their stories stand as a stark reminder of the power of manipulation and the devastating consequences of blind obedience. On the night of August 8, 1969, the peaceful Benedict Canyon in Los Angeles was shattered by unimaginable violence. Following Manson's instructions to totally destroy everyone in the house, as gruesome as you can, 4 members of the Manson family, Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kasabian, drove to 10050 Cielo Drive. The house was rented by Roman Polanski, a renowned film director, and his wife, actress Sharon Tate, who was 8.5 months pregnant. Inside the house were Sharon Tate with friends, hairstylist Jay Sebring, coffee heiress Abigail Folger, and her boyfriend, Wojciech Frykowski. The family members brutally murdered everyone present. The victims were stabbed and shot multiple times. The word pig was written on the front door in blood. The following night, the family, including Manson himself, went to the Los Feliz home of supermarket executive Leno LaBianca and his wife Rosemary. The couple was bound, tortured, and brutally killed. Again, words were written in blood at the crime scene, this time death to pigs and Helter Skelter, a misspelling of the Beatles' song Helter Skelter, which Manson believed foretold a race war. These 2 nights of unimaginable brutality sent shockwaves across the nation. The sheer brutality and seemingly random nature of the crimes terrified the public. Who were these monsters and what drove them to commit such heinous acts?